Time to re-up YouTube. Your boy Young Mustard is back with another video, and of course we're here to talk about this Kyrie Irving situation because this thing is annoying, sad, and funny as hell at the exact same time. For those who don't know, Kyrie Irving has demanded a trade from the Brooklyn Nets, and this is just a couple of days before the trade deadline. The deadline is literally in 5 days, and I really wonder where Kyrie Irving is going to go, even though, as you guys can see from the title and thumbnail, we all know where he's going. But before we get into that, make sure you like, share, and comment on this video. Now, without further ado, let's talk about this Kyrie drama because this is a crazy situation. Now, let's go back a little bit because Kyrie requesting a trade from the Brooklyn Nets, this is not something new. He did this in the offseason because the Nets did not give him the contract extension. If you guys remember, Kevin Durant requested his trade, but Kyrie, after he requested his, he specifically let it be known that his trade request was not because Kevin Durant wanted to leave, it was because they didn't want to give him the contract extension. For those who don't know, Kyrie is from Brooklyn. He wants to play for the Nets, but the Nets don't want to give him the amount of money that Kyrie wants. A 4-year max extension to be exact, and I can understand the Brooklyn Nets side of things. Kyrie just gets up and leaves sometimes, or he gets hurt a lot. He's just not a reliable player, so to give him a 4-year max extension as he's not only getting older, but these problems are still a prevalent thing, as we saw earlier on in this season with the whole anti-Semitic remarks. Even if you agree or disagree with Kyrie's stance on the link that he posted and all that stuff, let's be real here, problems follow Kyrie everywhere he goes. Kyrie is a very talented player, but we have to come to the realization that he is a problematic guy. Sometimes it's not his fault, but sometimes it is. The dice just sometimes falls that way. And to be fair, I understand why he wants to leave Brooklyn, because I think the contract is one thing, but also you have to realize that this team, they're not going to win a championship. And I believe in the contract clause, they put that a championship has to be guaranteed for him to get the full amount of his money. And to be honest, Ben Simmons is just not good enough to be one of your 3 best players come playoff time. And granted, he's not even their 3rd best player. It's actually Claxton, the deep boy candidate. Ben Simmons is the guy that they traded for in exchange of James Harden. They moved on from James Harden to get this sorry trash bag of a nigga. Simmons provides a level of defense, but offensively we all know the holes in his game, and it's gotten even worse this season as he looks like the athletic Draymond Green that I've been trying to tell y'all for years. And after KD went down, we've seen what the team has turned back into. They literally cannot function without Kevin Durant. Kyrie can put up his numbers, but they are not going to win games consistently because Kyrie is not a number 1 guy, plain and simple. And when you throw in the fact that they don't want to pay him the money that he wants, a full max extension, I can understand why he doesn't want to be a part of that organization. Now, when you look around the rest of the league though, I have to say, it's going to be really tough for the Nets to have to move him because it's not like Kyrie's not a talented guy and people wouldn't want someone of his talent on their team. It's the fact that, one, he has half a year left on his contract. This is a 1-year player option that Kyrie is on right now, and half of the year has already passed by. So if you are trading for Kyrie, why would you give up anything of real value for a half-year rental? At the very most, I'm only going to give you a 1st-round pick. And if you don't take that pick along with some contract filler, you better keep it moving because I'm not giving you anything more than that. And when you look around the NBA, there aren't many teams that could do that for Kyrie Irving, along with the fact that Kyrie might leave in the offseason. So if I'm trading for Kyrie Irving, best believe you're going to take this contract filler along with a pick or 2, or else I'm leaving. Now, I will admit though, there are a couple of teams that could make a play for Kyrie Irving, but you also have to narrow those teams down and probably eliminate half of the NBA just off of the fact that, one, some teams suck, and also some teams genuinely don't need him. And when you look at the teams that do need him, let's be real here, you have to have the assets. So let's say about 20 to 25 teams really can't trade for Kyrie Irving. Now, with the remaining teams that could make a play for him, let's break down why some of them, if not most of them, really are not going to trade for Kyrie. Let's start off with the Heat. The Heat could definitely make a play for Kyrie, but let's be honest here, Kyle Lowry is just not moving me if I'm Brooklyn. Why would I want a couple more years of this sorry ass washed dude, even if I'm getting some picks in return? The picks are not going to be that valuable coming from the Miami Heat. The Heat are always going to try to be in playoff contention, and even though right now they're towards the bottom of the Eastern Conference, I'd still rather take my chances of getting picks from other teams that I know are going to be better in the draft position. Unless they want to throw in Tyler Hero, which, let's be real, the Heat are not going to do for half a year of Kyrie. So even though I do think Miami is possible, I just don't see it happening if I'm Brooklyn, because the packages that you could get from other teams are better than the one you could get from Miami. But then you look at a team like Minnesota, and I definitely think this is a pretty interesting proposition. D'Angelo Russell for Kyrie would definitely be cool, I can't lie. And the reason I say cool is because for both sides, I could see it working out. D'Lo going back to Brooklyn where it all started for him as an all-star. It'd be like a nice heartwarming thing, I guess, for him, because let's be real, it has not worked out anywhere else other than Brooklyn for D'Lo. Now granted, D'Lo is also on the last year of his contract as well, so the Nets would probably have to give him an extension. Now I'm not gonna lie though, I don't see why the Nets would necessarily do this trade just off of the fact that they're not getting any real assets in return. D'Angelo Russell is not some young player anymore. He's in the middle of his prime. They've been there and done that with D'Lo as well. The Timberwolves don't have any picks to trade in the near future, as they've basically sold their future to Utah. Shout out to Danny Ainge. So unless you're gonna throw in Jaden McDaniels or something, I'm not taking that trade if I'm Brooklyn. And on top of that, let's say that Brooklyn does want D'Lo in exchange for Kyrie. Let's be real here. Do you think that Kyrie is going to stay in Minnesota? I understand that Minnesota, they're trending in a better direction than they were earlier on in the season. I think they can be a really solid team if they add Kyrie Irving to the mix, but unfortunately, even if they lose in a first or second round exit, which will probably be the ceiling for this team, I just don't know if Kyrie will still stay. Kyrie is the type of guy that has left even when they went to the finals in Cleveland with LeBron at his side. Kyrie is so unpredictable that I don't know if he's going to stay in any of these situations despite the playoff result. And when you look at the stars in the NBA, do you think that they really want to play in Minnesota? I mean, no disrespect to Minnesota people out there. If you're from Minnesota, my regards. But at the end of the day, players don't want to play out of all franchises for the Timberwolves. But then you look at a team like the Mavericks, and I can't lie, they are pretty interesting. Dallas could definitely get Kyrie because, let's be real here, they have the assets, and also they need another ball handler alongside Luka Doncic, as we saw what they did with Jalen Brunson last year come playoff time. I assume the package would probably be centered around Spencer Dinwiddie and some picks, which if I'm Brooklyn, I would take that deal. I have no problem bringing back Spencer Dinwiddie. He's somebody that's going to probably even help us win, or at least be more competitive in some of these games, because if I'm the Nets, I'm not trying to just bottom out and go try to get the first or second overall pick in next year's draft. It's just not going to work that way, because for one, if you're Brooklyn, you don't own your picks. The Rockets do. Your future is not in your hands anymore. By the way, shout out to the Rockets, man. If anybody are the biggest winners of this, it has to be them. Those picks and they price in the stock market just went through the roof. But getting back to Dallas in particular, the one thing that I will say is a knock on Dallas is if they're gonna give him the extension, because Kyrie wants that 4-year max extension, and we've all seen Dallas in the past be hesitant on paying players. Hell, we just saw how they were hesitant on paying Jalen Brunson, a guy who they could have given the extension earlier on in the season, but they chose to wait it out. Then he goes off and nuclear in the playoffs with 40 pieces against the shitty Utah Jazz defense, and now he's got a 4-year deal with the New York Knicks. So just imagine how big of a fumble that was, and now you're gonna give a 4-year extension to Kyrie Irving. I just don't see them doing that, honestly. Do you see Mark Cuban doing something like that? And do you see Kyrie wanting to stay with the Mavericks as well? That's something you have to consider. Let's say they go out in the first round, which is possible for this team if they add Kyrie. Is Kyrie just gonna get up and walk? I mean, let's be real here. He could, and why shouldn't he? Because if the team doesn't give him the offer, then I would not stay if I'm Kyrie, because we all know that's what he wants. There's so many question marks on if Kyrie's going to take that extension or not, that if I am Dallas, I don't know if I want to do that. And hell, I don't even know if Mark Cuban wants to give up Dinwiddie and picks in exchange for half a year of Kyrie, considering all of his off the court drama. Which then brings us to the only team that really can put up with the stuff that Kyrie goes goes through on a year-to-year basis because it's always headlines there. They got a former teammate of Kyrie Irving that has won a championship with him, and out of all the teams in the league, they are desperate enough to give him that max extension by any means necessary, and we all know who that is. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. If you're the Lakers, why wouldn't you give him that max extension? Let's be real here. Who cares? This is a team that's trying to win a championship by any means necessary. They don't care if Kyrie Irving is going to just get up and leave after 1 week, because they know that a championship is the goal, and come playoff time, he'll be back. Out of all the teammates that Kyrie has played with, the one guy that has given him, I think, the space to really be him is LeBron. I mean, they won a championship together. They already have chemistry. LeBron, you know, wants to play with Kyrie Irving again. And even though things have been rocky at times, I think those guys still have a good relationship. It doesn't seem like they're best friends or anything, but their relationship is very clear. Kyrie, you gon' hoop. LeBron, I'm gon' hoop too. And we just gonna come together and get this ring. And then you throw Anthony Davis in the equation. Why would you not do it if you're the Lakers? You would have the best big three in basketball. And on top of that, they also have the assets. Westbrook and 2 first-round picks that are from 2027 and 2029. If I'm the Nets, I'm going to take that deal. You get the contract filler in Westbrook. You could probably just buy him out or let him even play out the rest of the season. And the 2 first-round picks in the future, that's something at least. Who knows what the Lakers are going to be in 2027 and 2029? Who knows? Maybe that turns into the first overall pick of those drafts. Because considering the health of LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Kyrie, also with their age as well, in 4, 5, 6 years, these guys could be out the NBA by then. So I would say out of all the trade packages and potential moves for Kyrie, the Lakers makes the most sense out of all of them. Don't get me wrong, I understand people don't want to see another super team in the NBA, but unfortunately, this is just how the league works. Super teams are never just going to straight up die. Teams are still going to take opportunities when it presents themselves. Why would you not take this opportunity if you're the Lakers? You're a team that's not even in the play-in right now, and now you have the chance to potentially add to the team all-star caliber play. Hell, all-NBA caliber player, because that's how good Kyrie Irving is. He's a top 5 point guard and is one of the 20 to 25 best players in the league. And with LeBron's health constantly being in flux, his age getting up there, and it's not getting slower anytime soon, him playing at this level is not a guarantee every single year. He could decline as soon as tomorrow. So getting him help has to be the #1 priority if you're Rob Pelinka. And hell, if you even have to throw in Austin Reeves, you go ahead and do that. I don't care. Sure, it's half a season of Kyrie Irving, but I genuinely do think if any team has the chance to re-sign him and wants to re-sign him, it's the Los Angeles Lakers. With all these other teams, you're probably still thinking to yourself, man, should we do this? Should we really re-sign Kyrie? Because if I'm Mark Cuban, I'm still thinking about it. But if I'm Rob Pelinka, that's not even a thought. It's an immediate, you got your extension as soon as you come here, bruh. And because of that, I just don't see how he doesn't end up with the Lakers as soon as maybe even tomorrow. Hell, maybe as soon as I'm done recording this video, Kyrie already gonna be a Laker. So I gotta get this shit out ASAP. But if you guys disagree and you think that there's another team out there that Kyrie could go to, let me know down below in the comment section. But don't forget to follow me on social media. The links are down below in the description box for my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. You guys stay safe and have a blessed day. Peace.